So, the Firework Technician is into the game now, and it is a highly technical tower, which is ironic given its name, it's Technician. Now, you get this by completing the Happy New Year's quest in current mission quest right now. You can actually get this contract more than twice. I don't know if the developers have fixed it, but that does mean nothing. You can't actually get the Firework Technician more than twice, and additionally, it doesn't seem like you can claim this more than twice. I'm not going to waste Robux to do it, but you can abandon it. But you can do it again still. But from what I've heard from people, you can't do this more than twice. It'll just glitch out on the last objective. Anyways, developers haven't said how long it's going to be in the game for. I would assume it's going to be in the game for like a week, and then after that, it will just go away. However, I would assume that this would return every year on the 31st of December. People have asked if you should abandon your quests to do this for Please Don't Offend Simulator. Please Don't Offend Simulator, that mission quest is never going to return. You might as well complete that, or buy the Robux to finish that. However, this quest, it might be a returning thing, it might not be. It's a risk that you take, not me. It's what you decide. If you think that the risk is worth it to complete this mission quest and get the tower early, go ahead. But there is always next year, probably, maybe, who knows. And yes, the game has been updated so that there's a bell here that rings out every hour for when a new city comes into the new year. It's also currently very windy in the United Kingdom. Hopefully they don't cancel the London fireworks. Huh, there's no fireworks. The developers have glitched it. Oh, I see. Huh, hey. Now, the Firework Technician is a highly technical tower, and it has two main-ish abilities. The first and easiest to explain ability that you probably would be able to guess from this is that at the start of every game, it's able to give detections to towers. So as you can see here, it's able to give them flying, hidden, and lead detections so that they're able to attack these towers, all of these towers. Now, this is at the start of every game only. It expires as depending on the statistic of the Firework Technician at that certain level, which we'll get to later. Additionally, there's an additional thing where the Firework Technician is able to grant towers the ability to shoot firework rockets by random chance at enemies. So here, this is the firework buff. Now, this doesn't always happen, and it's always a rare chance, but you can see here that the firework comes out from the tower and then it shoots at the enemies, deals splash damage and everything. The statistic I'll explain later. Now, this is highly complicated, or is it highly complicated? Well, it's can be simplified into this. The faster a fire shoots, the less chance that it has to shoot out a rocket. And the slower that a tower shoots, the more likely it is to shoot out a rocket. That may seem counterintuitive, but that's because if a tower is shooting quickly, it has a higher chance of shooting out a rocket if the percentage to shoot out a rocket was the same for all towers. No, that's not the case. The developers have leaked the equation which shows the chance of a tower shooting out a rocket, and as you can see, fire rate is involved in this, so the fire rate of a tower does determine the probability that a rocket comes out of the tower. This equation is fairly simple. The percentage cap varies by level, which we'll get to later, and it's being divided by a constant here. Well, not a constant actually, it's a numeral value. Because it's a value of 1, it's always going to be greater than 1, it means that this percentage cap is always going to be divided by 1, at least 1, or greater. So that means the percentage cap is the highest percentage that a tower may have to shoot out a rocket. Now, the constant we're granted here, 2.78, but this is plus 2.78 and it's being exponentialed, and it's being exponentialed by a negative scalar. So here, the scalar is always going to be half. If it's a negative number, it always means it's going to be 1 over something. Then this is being affected by the fire rate, and then minus the threshold. The threshold is always going to be 6. So if a tower has 6 fire rate, this can catalyze it into 0, divided by whatever the percentage cap is. This is being added to 1. So it would just be the percentage cap divided by whatever this equation is. And so as the fire rate tends towards infinity, this will always tend towards 1, so the percentage cap is always going to win out. Then the percentage cap, that just influences the RNG, and then the calculated amount is just RNG. So yes, that's a simple equation for the firework. Interestingly, this apparently affects the bullets, not the fire rate. So actually, something like the shotgunner has multiple chances of actually shooting out a rocket, and the necromancer also does as well, apparently. This can be seen if you go into sandbox mode and set these fire rates to 100. You'll realize that they'll shoot out multiple rockets per shot. That's because it's per bullet, and the necromancer and the shotgunner shoots out multiple bullets per fire rate. Now, the pursuit and the ace pilot will actually shoot out rockets, but interestingly, they'll shoot it out from the helipad and not from the actual tower. So Yeah, you can see here, it's coming out from the helipad, not the tower, the unit itself, which is really odd, but yeah, fair enough. Also, damage is being attributed to the Firework Technician, so technically the Firework Technician has a DPS, but I'm not going to count it, let's be honest. It's going to be really difficult to count DPS from the Firework Technician, because it's on a per tower basis, and the range of this can be increased by DJ boost, and it depends on how many towers around it. It's going to be really complicated to calculate DPS, but you can calculate DPS if it was going to be one tower, so I guess you can do that. As for other towers, this doesn't really count the multi-thing that applies to the shotgunner and the necromancer to, say, the paintballer, because the paintballer, that's just one shot that deals multiple damage, so explosive towers, not as effective, but they are more effective in shooting a rocket because their fire rates are normally slower. As a general rule of thumb, slow-firing towers have a greater chance of firing a rocket per fire rate. So unlike the Crook boss, its units will not be able to shoot out a rocket. The Freeze is able to shoot out a rocket, but that's because its bullets are based on other stuff, so same for the medic, same for the militant. The military race won't be able to shoot out anything. The Pyromancer, I assume, can. That's going to be really weird. Yeah, the Pyromancer can shoot out a rocket. Very cool. Just a word of note that the fireworks do have burn damage, but does it stack with the Pyromancer? I don't think it does. So if we just go here and then see the shoot its rockets. Okay, it actually does stack with the Pyromancer's burn damage. Okay, fair enough. Then we have the Trapper. I assume the Trapper won't be able to shoot out any rockets. It's just because why would it be able to shoot out any? It puts down road obstacles. It won't be able to shoot out anything. Very sad. Going into advanced towers, the Cowboy, Commanders, they will be able to. Electroshocker probably would be able to. The Gatling Gun probably. I don't know what happens if you go first FPS mode. Will it be able to shoot out a rocket then? So let's see here. Yeah, the Gatling Gun is able to shoot out a rocket, but will it be able to shoot out a rocket in FPS mode? Yeah, it can. Okay, I think it can. But, or does it? Because I'm not shooting out any rockets in FPS mode, huh? So, if we go to here, okay, so definitely in non-FPS mode you can. Okay, so it needs to be attacking an enemy. You need to actually be hitting an enemy for it to count to shoot rockets out, otherwise it won't do it. And also I think the rockets are aimed randomly, so you won't be able to control that. That's cool. The Mercenary Brace won't be able to shoot it out. The Minigunner does, but obviously that's a lot worse for that. The rocket chance is lower. The Mortar will be able to, and the Ranger will be able to. These towers will be able to do it at a consistent rate because their fire rates are slow. Turret will be able to do it, and the Warden. Will the Warden be able to do it? Right, so if we do a Fallen Giant, will it be able to shoot out any rockets? Let's see. Oh, it does! It does shoot out rockets. Okay, that's really interesting. So melee towers can do it. So the Gladiator and the Slash will be able to shoot out rockets. That's cool, I guess. The Brawler will be able to do it as well. The Accelerator definitely would be able to. The Engineer would be able to, but not its turrets. So that would be the main tower itself. I don't think the main tower... it's not going to be too effective. Then again, its fire rate is slow-ish, not minigunner, so that's fine. The Archer will be able to, even though its arrows can do pierce, it won't be able to shoot out multiple. Same for the Commando. I don't think its missiles will be able to. The Chiromancer, I believe, would be able to. In fact, it'd probably be able to deal damage at level 0, when it couldn't be able to do it before because of the rocket thing. Damage won't be attributed to the Chiromancer, but it will be able to deal damage, I guess. The Elementalist would, even though it's not... I mean, it gets damage from its turret, so the turrets won't be able to, for the ice turrets at least. The Elfcan wouldn't be able to. The Executioner probably would. Frostblaster, yes. Gladiator, yes. Halipump, yes. Harvester, yes. Probably not from the Thorns, though. Jester, probably. Necromancer, yes. Proved it. Slasher, yes. Sledger, yes. Snowballer, yes. Swarmer, no. We tested that out. It doesn't. The Executioner, probably. And I need to test out the Jester. Now, it may be... the Jester doesn't seem to be able to actually do anything to it. Huh. Okay. Oh, it does. Okay, so it's just really rare. Okay, fair enough. So I assume because it's per bomb. Okay, so yeah, but it's just really rare. Yeah, it does. Okay, so the Executioner can do it. It's just that the Swarmer can't. Okay, fair enough. Now, I trust that the Menton did it properly, and I assume that the Swarmer won't be able to actually damage, say the Bullock. But then again, we'll have to see. We'll have to check it out. No, it doesn't seem to be able to shoot any rockets, so the Swarmer, not a good tower for this. Now, as for the fireworks damage isn't actually consistent with what's being shown here, so you will actually have to just believe me in that saying that the fireworks shot added damage, it's plus 5 and then it goes to plus 10. It's not actually, say, okay, it's 15. No, that's really weird. So if you go here, for example, here it goes from 10 to 20. That's wrong. It's actually dealing only 9 damage here, which is really odd, but yeah. That means that at level 0, for a total price of 1,500, which is the total cost to place it down, it has 8 range, firework damage of 5, its detection buff duration is 15 seconds, its explosive range is 1, the chance of a firework shot, the highest, given that, say, Ranger, if it has like 100 fire rate, for example, is 50%. Its burn damage is 1, the burn tick is 0.5, the burn damage is 5, so therefore it gives a total elapsed damage of 10. Meanwhile, the constant is 2.78, the scalar is 0.5, and the threshold is 6. That's going to be the same throughout all the levels. Meanwhile, at level 1, its total cost is 3,500, its upgrade price is 2,000. The firework damage here is 10, the range is 9, buff duration, it's for the buffs, is 20, its explosion range is 1, the chance that the firework shoots out from a tower when it's at a slow fire rate is 60%, its burn damage is 2, its burn tick is 0.5, burn time is 5, total latch damage is 20. Meanwhile, for level 2, its firework damage is 9. By the way, its upgrade cost is 6,500 for a total of 10,000. Its range is 9. Its buff duration is 25. Explosion range is 2. Chance for the firework for a tower that has like 100 fire rate is 70%. Its burn damage is 2. Its burn tick is 0.25. Its burn time is 5 for a total elapsed damage of 40. Meanwhile, at level 3, it costs 12,000 for a total cost of 22,000. Its firework damage is 9 at this level still. Its range is 9. Its buff duration is 30. Its explosion range is 2. The firework shot chance cap is 85%. Its burn damage is 4. Burn tick is 0.25. Burn time is 5. And its total elapsed damage is 160. Meanwhile, for level 4, it costs 44,000 in total, 22,000 in total. Its firework damage here is 10. Its range is 10 at this level. Its buff duration is 40 seconds from the start of the wave. Its explosion range is 3. The chance shot per cap is actually 100%. But like I said, that doesn't mean all towers have a 100% chance of shooting a firework. Especially if it's a fast firing tower like the minigunner. Its burn damage is 7, its burn tick is 0.25, its burn time is 5 for a total elapsed damage of 280. Now, it's a really hard tower to actually rank because, I mean, like at the start of the game, yes, it actually buffs towers at the start of the wave, yes, but otherwise, I mean, I guess it can give additional damage to towers, but its damage is like minimal. I mean, it's really good against with the shotgunner, and the necromancer less so because its fire rate is slower for the necromancer. But I guess because it deals additional damage, it's good. I mean, it's mostly for the hidden detections and the lead detection and the firework detection that the firework technician should be used, but I assume someone will find a way to use it in hardcore mode. The only problem is, because it's only one of these, you're effectively giving up a tower slot for, say, the engineer or the accelerator or something that deals high amounts of damage later on, just so that you can beat like leads or flyings early on. Do bearing in mind that this is not a cheap tower to buy as well. So it's like, if you have a spare tower, you might as well bring the firework technician just to deal like additional damage, because like who doesn't like additional damage? And the buffs, the detection buffs, means that you are in a safer spot initially early on, and it can give like the ranger all the detections, it can give the jester all the detections, it can give like the brawler all the detections. But it's like, why would you bring it in solo mode? Maybe even duo mode even, but in duo mode you might not need the medic, for example. You might want to bring the firework technician because it has more versatility, more use for the detections. It's a really hard tower to actually rank or to even rate. I'd say it has its own niche, and it actually probably will be used by some people, especially in hardcore mode, especially in a group of 3, so that you don't need to waste so much on, say, detections for lead, for flying, and this tower can easily just bump you up to deal with those. But otherwise, yeah, it's a really unique tower. I think it'll find its own niche. I think people will actually use this event tower, and it'll probably return every once in a while at New Year's. But yeah, it's the firework technician, lads. Cool animations. I guess it has its own unique thing, and yeah, an okay tower. I don't think it's the most OP tower. I mean, yeah, it can give detections to towers, but it's not permanent. It's only for the start of the game. But fair enough.